Hi and welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how to make bread rolls stuffed with halloumi and pesto. They're a lovely alternative to your plain bread roll and they're perfect for a picnic. I use a bread machine when I'm making bread. I find it easier. If you have a bread machine, you need to follow the instructions on your machine. With mine, you put the liquids in first. On some other machines, you put them in last. I've got my pot and I'm going to start off by adding 300 ml of lukewarm water. Next is 40 ml of olive oil. This gives a lovely flavour to the bread. There we go. And here I've got 2 teaspoons of salt. Salt gives flavouring to the bread. You do need it. You can add less if you want to, if you have a worry about your salt intake. And lastly, before I add my yeast, I'm going to add 500 grams of strong white bread flour. There we go. This is just fast action yeast. It's just a powder, it's dried. Ooh, there we go. I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of this. There we go, 1, 2. And that is your basic dough for this bread roll. I'm going to pop it in my bread machine on the dough setting and just press the button and leave it to get on with itself. The bread has finished its first proof, so now I'm just going to pour it out onto a floured work surface and give it a bit of a knead. Oops, it's very stretchy and very sticky. There we go. Let's put that over there, out of the way. And I'm just going to give it a bit of a knead for about 5 minutes to help get the glutens in the flour a little bit more, I suppose, exercised. I don't know. It's supposed to do them good. On my rattly table. Oops. The dough is slightly warm because it's just come out of the bread maker. If you don't have a bread maker, just make a bread in the traditional fashion, either by hand or you can do it in your freestanding mixer with a dough hook. And I'm just going to knead this for about 5 minutes until it gets a little bit smoother. There we go. It's nice and smooth. And you can sort of feel that it's alive. And now all that's left to do is to divide it into 8 bread rolls. Now this is the traditional way of dividing bread, using that part of your hand. Just scoop that up. And you just sort of put it in the middle and roll backwards and forwards and cut the bread in half. Or you can do it this way with one of these. But if you haven't got one of these, this is by far the simplest way. And it sort of rolls the bread and it gives it a lovely round. There we go. There's 4. And there we have our 8 bread rolls. Now that we've got our 8 balls, all we're going to do is sort of flatten them out in the palm of your hand until we get a flattish disc. There we go. And I'm just going to add half a teaspoon of pesto sauce onto the bread roll. There we go. Let's lift that up. I'm going to put a bit of halloumi. I've used 100 grams of halloumi and I've cut it into roughly 8 portions. And I'm just going to bring it together and keep going round until that middle bit is all stuck together. Roll it round in my hand and put it on my baking tray. I'm going to do exactly the same with the remaining bread rolls until I have 8 stuffed buns. Look at that. You could use something else if you don't want to use, I'm using green pesto here, but I have in the past used a tomato pesto. You could use a sun-dried tomato paste as well, that goes really well with cheese. Once I've done all 8, I'll actually put them back in the oven to prove until they've doubled in size again. And then we'll do our final bit of decoration. Look at that. It's such a lovely colour. Put our piece of cheese in. Oops. Right, all stuck together. All I'm going to do now is put them to one side in a warm place for them to prove for their second time until they are doubled in size. And once that's happened, we can finish them off. These buns have just had their second proof and they've doubled in size. So I'm going to decorate them now with some olives. Now I've got green olives here. You can use black olives if you want to, or you could use some sun-dried tomatoes chopped up and pushed in. So I'm just going to push them in. There we go. Yes, it's very springy, so they will pop out a bit. Oops. There. Just trying to make it look pretty. And they do add a saltiness to the buns, and it goes so well with the halloumi. And all that's left to do now is to give them a quick brush over with some egg. Now this will make them go all golden and glossy in the oven. Gives them a bit of a tan. And it makes for a nice soft topping as well. They're not crusty buns, they're soft. And the egg will do that. Want to be quite patient and make sure that they get all covered, so you don't want any without. I'm just going to pop these in the oven now at 220, gas mark 7, for about 20 minutes until they're all golden and risen and, well, obviously cooked. There we have it, these gorgeous halloumi and pesto stuffed rolls. I'm just going to take one and cut it in half and show you what they look like inside. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? I'm going to have a quick taste, see what they're like. These are gorgeous. I've just got a little bit of cheese and a little bit of pesto. And the crust is nice and soft. I do hope you're going to have a go at making these and play around with them. Try your own fillings. I'll see you all again next time. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe and click the little notification button. Thank you. Oh. You're the star, aren't you, Wills? Are doubled in size, and once that's happened, we can finish them off. That's it, that's done. Cut! And God, the door squealed after I finished.